With the Driveaway, like I say, I love it because the fact that I get to pick and choose when I work, where I work, and what I want to do. That's what I love about Driveaway.
Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport as we wind out the year and begin another one in 2023. This is, of course, a time when we lift up and celebrate the drivers for Norton Transport and all across the country, for that matter, the men and women that make everything go round and round and mean so much to the commerce here in America. And joining us tonight, we have a very, very special guest, Miss Sexcina Monroe out of Texas. Sexcina, how are you?
I'm good. And how are you guys?
Oh, doing fantastic, doing fantastic. I got to ask you this question right off the top. I'm sure you've gotten it all your life. Very unusual, great name, first name. How did it come about?
My mother had bad things on her mind while she was in labor with me for 10 minutes.
10 minutes of labor there, and it stuck from there, huh?
Oh, gosh.
Now, are there any nicknames that come out of Sexcina, or
They call me Sexy for short.
Sexy for short. There you go. Now, what part of Texas are you in right now?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
And that's home for you?
Yes, that is home for me.
Gotcha. Now, we're closing in on Christmas as we're recording this. What's the weather look like in Houston? A lot of the country is looking at some very unfavorable winter weather coming their way.
Yes, right now it's about 45 degrees. It's a little windy, but other than that, we don't have any snow or anything, so they can keep it wherever it's at.
I gotcha. I understand, completely understand. Now, how long have you been on the road? How long have you been driving?
I've been driving for Norton itself. I've been driving almost 2 years, but I've been driving for 26 years now.
26 years. We'll delve back into that, but as we're in the winter season, how does it make you feel as a driver?
Honestly, it's been hectic. The last month or so, I've been in Oregon, Utah, Wyoming in the snow. I've been catching it the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to take a break this week and regroup myself, because it can be very hectic.
Good time to enjoy the holidays.
Yes.
Now, who will you be spending the holidays with? Who are you going to be ringing in the new year with, celebrating Christmas? Who all is going to be around you?
I'm going to be my better half, my children, my 3 children. I have 3 grandchildren here with me in Texas, so we're all going to spend Christmas together, Christmas and New Year's.
Gotcha. How old are the grandchildren?
Grandchildren, I have 3 that are here. There's one that is 9, one 6, and I have a 5-month-old grandbaby. And my oldest granddaughter, unfortunately, I lost her 5 years ago to cancer.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yes.
How was that to cope with? I mean, losing a grandchild to cancer.
Ooh, it's rough. It really is. This is the month that she left us 5 years ago, December 10th. But like I say, just take it day by day. Like I say, I know there's a lot of families going through the cancer issue right now themselves. So just take it day by day, and I try to pray for everybody, and hopefully, they'll get through it.
Gotcha. When it comes to losing someone that close to you, your grandchild, and they have a special place in your heart, and you said you were praying for someone to get through it and for everyone to get through it, how important is it, or has it been for you, for prayer around things such as that?
It is very important. I'm going to be honest. I'm like, even days I'm on the road, I pray, all the time before I get up and get headed out on the road for the day, because you never know what's going to happen, what's going to become of the day, whatever. But like I say, I just pray every day, and I ask my grandbaby, as I said, to watch over me as I travel the roads and, keep everybody safe. That's all I ask.
Gotcha. Talking about prayers for on the road, and we kind of touched on it a little bit there about driving in the winter. Our safety coordinator today spoke a little bit about some of the problems you guys can run into on the road. What's front of mind for you if you're heading into inclement weather or just cold weather?
in inclement weather, just, make sure you have extra clothing, coat and stuff with you in the truck in case something happens. Make sure you're just prepared for everything. Once you're getting into, bad weather, snow, ice or whatever, you got to just brace yourself, take your time. Don't try to rush it because I see it all the time. Trucks flipped over. They're barreling by me doing 70, 80 miles an hour when there's nothing but black ice out. Just take your time. Be safe. It's not that big of a deal to get there, in a hurry. I'd rather for you to be safe than sorry.
What about as far as the interaction with the cold weather and a diesel engine and the fuel? How do you cope with that?
Well, with the diesel and the fuel, honestly, I just make sure I keep my fuel levels, to a certain point. I try not to, a lot of my vehicles, if I know I'm going long distances, nothing under half a tank. With the DEFs, automatically I try to keep a full tank on it, especially in the cold weather, because you never know. The lines freeze up and you may have issues. I ran into a little issue while I was in Wyoming about a week ago. And it wasn't the diesel or death. It was my back brake line froze up. So, you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So, just prepare yourself for it.
Right, because some of those fluids you're talking about, they can gel up on you when it gets cold.
Yeah. And that's, like I say, what happened pretty much, they said, with my brake line. They said it just because it was so cold out and the ice and everything, it just, kind of froze up. And after a couple hours, somebody coming out to help me, we finally got them released and my back tires were able to move and I journeyed on to California.
Gotcha. When that happened, kind of describe to us what happened when the line froze up. Did it lock the wheels in or what happened there?
Yes, it does. It locked my back wheels up. They wouldn't move at all, pretty much. I know a lot of times there's a lot of different trucker myths or whatever, just go put it in reverse a little bit, go forward, back and forth. And a lot of times it'll knock them loose. But that method didn't work for me. They were frozen. I had 3 other truckers try to help me get them freed. But nobody could get them freed. So we ended up having to call a service truck and they came out and did a few things and they finally got them freed up for me. So I was able to journey on down the road. As I said, back tires finally wanted to move for me.
Gotcha. What part of Wyoming were you in when this happened?
I was in, oh God, I can't even remember exactly where I was at. It's been a minute. I was so happy to get out of there. It was snowing so bad. Oh my God, it was horrible. Ice and snow. They had to get in snow for 3 days straight. So, yeah.
Yeah, when you're in a place like Wyoming in the winter, a lot of people talk about the beauty of Wyoming, but when you were in your situation, I'm guessing you didn't see a lot of beauty.
I didn't see a lot of beauty at all. I come through there quite a bit, but this time it was not a lot of beauty. I mean, when I say whiteouts, pretty much the whole drive, I was just thankful to make it to the hotel and stayed for the night. I ended up, like I say, there for almost a day because by the time they got the brakes and everything released, it was a whole nother day. So I just waited it out and, journeyed on from there.
I mean, what else can you do?
Yep, that's all. Journeyed it out. I'm like I told them, I'll stay at the hotel. I'm fine. I'm in warm place. I'm not on the side of the road in a ditch. And they had eastbound 80 shut down completely. Westbound was open, but it was very bad. So, I just waited it out.
I'm guessing you did a considerable amount of praying at this particular moment.
Oh my God. I prayed all the way to the hotel. Because when I say it got bad, it got bad. I can honestly say in a 5-mile stretch, I've probably seen almost 20 different 18-wheelers flipped over.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I guess
it
you
was
were
really
feeling fortunate that you were not another one.
Yes. And as I said, I just prayed on it and just took my time, 15, 20 miles an hour. But as I said, people don't understand. Black ice is just unforeseen. You never know when and where. And when I say some drivers, they just don't understand. They barreling down the highway at 70, 80 miles an hour, and you just never know.
Do you find yourself shaking your fist at them?
Every time I just be like, Lord, I be like, why? I just like when they come by me. And then it's a scary feeling too when you're, going creeping down the highway at a slow pace, trying to make sure you're safe. And you have somebody that barrels by you at 70, 80, shaking your vehicle, and all that. It's like a scary feeling. But people, like I say, a lot of people don't understand. But like I always say, better safe than sorry for anything. I don't care if I'm in my personal vehicle with that type of weather.
I got you. You're listening to Sexcina Monroe here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. She's talking about dealing with the winter weather driving conditions. She was in Wyoming. Her brake lines froze up and pretty much stopped her in her tracks for a while. But you were mentioning there were three truck drivers, who came to your aid. I guess in a place like this, in a time like this, you see the best in people.
Yes. It was, and I mean, honestly, I was overwhelmed with the amount of help that came towards me. Like I said, I was at the hotel, but there were several truck drivers there themselves, and everybody tried to assist, in any type of way, but nobody could get them freed up. And finally, once the service truck came out, he did a few things. He even used some type of liquid something he did to it too. So, never seen it before. Just was happy that he got me freed up where I could be able to travel.
Gotcha. I guess that had to be heartwarming. I mean, despite being through, I guess it's kind of troublesome when it's actually happening, but heartwarming at the same time to see everybody pitching in a hand.
Yes, it was. It really was. And like I say, I never asked anybody. I was just out there messing with it, and I guess they see me trying to kind of rock, the truck, trying to see if I could get the brakes to free up or whatever, and they all came over and kind of asked if they could help, in any type of way, and they start doing different things. So it was very heartwarming. I see it all the time, though, even when I pull in to different fuel stations and stuff. I'm going to be honest. I guess just being a female and the men see you, and they have been really helpful in assisting me in the last year or two. I really appreciate it.
I was going to ask you that, kind of going into that, because you've been on the road for 26 years as a driver, and we see more and more women getting behind the wheel, quite a few actually here, looking from the inside out at Norton Transport. What's it like as far as out on the road and the way you're treated, received, perceived out there? Has it changed over those 26 years? I mean, take us back to when you first started and the way people looked at it then.
Well, I'm going to be honest. When I first started, I was doing the easier part. I was just doing bus driving, city bus driving. So everybody kind of like, okay, it's just the bus. So then once I start doing more in the trucking industry, they still to this day, when they see you get out the truck, they kind of just look at you and like, you're driving that? And I'm like, yeah, why? Women can't drive trucks? And they just laugh. It's like, because we don't see too many women driving trucks anymore. It's starting to become a big thing. But you used to wouldn't see a female get out of a truck at all or whatever. So, yeah. But I appreciate it. I always get people to help me out in different situations, even just cleaning the windows. I get to fuel stations a lot of times and I got that for you. Don't worry about it. Okay, thank you.
Hey, don't turn it down.
I don't.
Now, has it changed much over the years? But you were saying it's still kind of the same as far as people looking at you when you step out of the truck. Or what do you think it takes for people to say, hey, this is an equal opportunity type profession? Anymore,
I think I think they are getting the gist of it, that it is an equal opportunity. I think any job nowadays is equal opportunity. There's nothing that a man or woman can't do anymore. So with that being said, I think, it's more and more people are starting to adjust to it as, the days and the years go by.
How many friends do you have that are doing the same thing, women that are drivers?
Honestly, I have about 6.
All drivers?
Yes, all drivers, and they all pretty much work for Norton.
Gotcha. Do you guys share stories? I'm sure you do.
Yes, we do. I try to travel down the road with them. So a lot of times, as I say, if I'm going somewhere in inclement weather, I'm with somebody, so I'm not by myself. And that's another thing I like about it, because pretty much with Norton, there's always multiple trucks going to the same place. I think one of my other coworkers, you've had her on the podcast before, Tarisha.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. Well, take us inside some of those stories. I'm sure they're good ones.
Oh, we always have different stories about, just when you get certain places, how people act, like you say, towards you. She'll call me and ask me, okay, well, have you picked up here or there? Because, a lot of times you can get stuck in certain locations. So, insight on what's a good spot. Can you get in and out of that, after dropping off in that location? We just a little small talk, nothing, big besides, like, oh, I seen a truck slip last night, and I didn't got to the point now where I don't pretty much drive at night unless I just have to. I prefer to drive in the day because we have so many drivers that are falling asleep anymore. And it's just, so I'd rather be safe than sorry if I'm by myself to travel during the day because I know it will be harder for like tow truck or anybody to get to me at night because they don't work as much.
Gotcha. So this is, if I'm understanding you correctly, this is kind of a network of you guys as far as sharing information that helps you, each and every one of you.
Yes. And that's what I love about it. Meetings. And I'm going to be honest, like all these people that I know that I've met, female truck drivers that I've met, they're all through Norton. Just so happen to be at a certain location, picking up a truck and bump into them and we conversate and ended up being good friends.
Gotcha. What's the most valuable piece of information you've gotten from that network of those 6 people? And what's the most valuable advice you've been able to give someone within that network?
Within the network, I'm be honest, valuable information, like I say, just trying to, be safe out there, go certain ways. I love it because, like I say, I always can count on them. Oh, what direction do you think I should go if I'm going here? Because the GPS will give you different ways to go. And I prefer to, go the way that's best, not where I'm on a back road or anything like that, and I just really appreciate all the, help they give me as far as telling me what way to go, what not to do, when to do it, and all that different thing, different types of information.
Gotcha. And so that's just a kind of an open highway of shared information.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yes, and I love it. I love it that I have multiple people that I can depend on and call. Because I'm gonna be honest, my first CNG truck that I had, never had one. Didn't know it was a CNG, which I've figured it out how to fuel it right off. That wasn't a problem. But when you're traveling certain places, say for instance, I was coming out of California, I think it was, and I was coming out of Washington, I take that back. And I was on 90, not knowing that once I got on 90, there was not another CNG station for almost 12, 13 hours.
That's not good.
So I had to reroute myself and did an extra 4-hour drives to make sure I was able to get CNG. So, without them, I would have never known that information. So that's why I say it's always good to have somebody you can talk to and, get information from while you're out on the roads.
Now, you were talking about CNG, and we are more and more, you're seeing more CNG trucks hitting the road. I mean, it's not a new thing. It's just kind of a growing thing. And you said the first one you took, you were able to figure it out, but you kind of hit the nail on the head there as far as you may be able to figure out how the fueling happens, but it's also about the planning and the plotting of the stations.
Yes. You have to plan it out, especially in a CNG. If you don't plan it out, you're going to be so in trouble. It's so hard. Like I say, you have to know where's your next station to be able to get to, the CNG and all that. So, if you don't plan it out before you leave, you're going to be in trouble like I was my first trip.
Now, the good side of CNG, though, is it's cheaper.
It's a lot cheaper. I've caught some stations where it's only been like $1.29, $1.39 a gallon, whereas if diesel was $5, $6 a gallon. So it is a lot cheaper.
And that's good for you.
Yes, very good. So that helps out in a whole bunch of different aspects or whatever. Like I say, I think I was when I was coming out of Washington or whatever, and I think it was almost $6.50. At the time, diesel was, and I got CNG for like $1.49.
Did you do a little celebration?
Yes, I do a lot of celebrations. I've had scares, though, like I say, with CNG, where you can pinpoint a station, and you have a lot of stations that'll show up on the map to say there's a CNG station there. And with COVID and everything that's been happening, they're not there anymore, and they haven't updated the website. Map. Yeah. So you'll get there, and there's no CNG. So I've had scares like that too before. So yeah, you have to really plan it out.
Gotcha. What's your total look at CNG? If you had, okay, here's a load for Sexcina. Let's say it's going from Dallas to Washington, since we talked about Washington. And you know that lane from Dallas to Washington. One's CNG, one's diesel. They pay the same. Which one do you take and why?
Oh, I'm taking the CNG all day long.
For the savings?
Yep, for the savings, I would take the CNG all day long. And with CNG, I don't have to stop as much either. So that's a good thing with them or whatever. But like I say, you just never know. CNG or diesel, you just never know. You can have both trucks brand new. And like I say, it's not up to you. It's whatever the truck wants to do. Either one can shut down on you in the blink of an eye. You be driving and not think anything of it. Next thing you know, you got lights on and you're on the side of the road. So you just never know.
Gotcha. Well, 26 years on the road. Now, be honest with us, Sexcina. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
26 years on the road, the craziest thing I have seen is I've had an experience where I was driving, going down the highway. There's another truck ahead of me. And next thing I know, he's in the fast lane. Just all of a sudden, I see boulders of concrete flying back at me. And I'm looking like, wait a minute, where did this come from? There's nothing in front of this truck at all. Come to find out, there was, I guess, a construction truck that had dropped a big boulder of concrete on the highway. And he hit it, and all the concrete shattered from the 18-wheeler hitting it. And it started flying back at me. And I'm trying to dodge it and, not go off the road. And that was the scariest feelings ever.
I'm sure.
And I'm just like, wow, yes. And it's about 10, 11 o'clock at night. So, it's a lot darker and, it was so scary. But I just thank God, didn't end up damaging anything. The bumper had a scratch on it, but there was no major damage to the truck or anything. So that was a blessing.
Where did that happen?
I was going through, matter of fact, I was going through Texas in, what is it? Oh my gosh, what is that? Right outside of Arkansas. I was getting ready to come into Arkansas, and we were going down the highway there. And he hit the concrete. Yes, Texarkana. I was going to say Corsicana, but Texarkana, yes. And he hit the boulder, and I was like, okay. And they had 3 cars end up flipping and everything. It was scary. And I'm like, I just never experienced anything. I'm like, I hope I never experience it again.
How did you dodge the shrapnel, for lack of a better word?
He hit the thing, and he never slowed down. That was the funny part about it. He never slowed down. He kept going or whatever. And it was just the point, me slowing down because I was in the right lane. There was 2 other lanes, and I was in the far right lane. So just me slowing down, trying to avoid everything. Like I say, there was 3 cars that flipped. One lady completely totaled her car. Once I got past all the debris, pretty much, I pulled over, to kind of make sure everybody was okay and everything. But other than that, I was like, it was just a blessing.
Gotcha. When you pulled over, what kind of feelings were running through you at that point?
Oh my God, heart was racing. I was just praying, like I say, everybody was okay because, the way everything happened so quickly. But like I say, everybody ended up out of their vehicles. Nobody was, seriously injured, a couple scratches. But you did have 2, 3 of them, like I say, totaled their cars out. But like they say, that's replaceable, so they didn't care. But yeah, it was a scary feeling though. But like I say, the other trucks, he never stopped to see if anybody was okay, if anybody needed help or anything. He just kept going.
Just kept rolling on.
He just kept rolling on.
How long ago was that?
This was then about 5 years ago.
Okay. Did it change you in any way as far as reluctance to get behind the wheel or the way you treat it from that point forward as far as concerns about safety?
No, it didn't change anything. It just makes me, kind of pay attention more, and like I say, I've really got to the point where I don't drive at night. Once it starts getting dark, I'm pretty much the person that I didn't got to the point. I just pull over because I rather, like I say, if I have problems, once it gets dark, and I can imagine what other people are going through or seeing at that time. So therefore, I just rather be safe. If it's not daylight, I don't drive.
Gotcha. You hear a lot of drivers that do like to drive at night because they feel like they can make better time, less traffic, but you're not one of them.
I'm not one of those. Only way I do it is if I just have to, if I'm trying to make, say, for instance, okay, got a later start and I'm behind in time or something like that. But I just try to, more daytime driving, whatever. But I have a couple of coworkers that love night driving. like you say, they make better time. You don't have all the way stations open and the different obstacles. You have to, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. So, yeah, I know a lot of people that like night driving.
Gotcha. Take us through a day behind the wheel with Sexcina Monroe. Let's say you're picking up a load. Let's just pick an hour. We'll say 7:30 in the morning. Take us from there and how the day's going to unfold.
Well, honestly, if I pick up a load at 7:30, I pretty much, like I say, get my load, do the pre-trip, everything, get my fuel, and I pretty much get on the road. I make sure I have, water and different snacks, drink or whatever, something I can kind of chew on while I'm driving down the road, and I just, journey on. I try not to stop unless I have to, pretty much. Like I'll do my 30-minute break and then, just go from there. If I have to use the ladies' room or anything, I rest stop. I try not to gas station because that's more time I'm in there and I got to deal with everybody getting in and out. So I just try to plan my day accordingly.
Gotcha. Now, what's a good snack for Sexcina when you're talking about chewing on something, beef jerky? What do you like?
I like beef jerky or I'll do trail mix.
Gotcha. Now, you're home for the holidays, and then do you already have something lined up in 23?
No, I haven't did anything. I'm home for the holidays. I'm going to probably hit the road on Monday, go back out Monday, work next week until Friday, and then I'll come back home for New Year's or whatever. But right now, I don't have anything like majorly planned. I'll look tomorrow and try to grab something, to get me through next week and then start fresh for the new year.
Gotcha. Now, starting Monday and going through Friday, there, 5-day week, how many loads do you think you can squeeze in? Do you want to do one long one, a couple of short ones, or how do you want to play it out?
I'm going to be honest. I like the longer ones if I can get a long one, but if I can get something that lines up that I don't have to spend a lot to, maneuver from 2 to 3 trucks, I have no problem with that either.
Gotcha.
That's the big issue, just trying to line up different trucks so you're not spending so much to travel from one point to another.
Gotcha. Now, we talked about one of the craziest, most frightening things you've seen in your 26 years, about 5 years ago when you laid out that boulder and the shrapnel from that rock coming your way. What about on the other side of the spectrum? What's one of the, I guess, most rewarding, beautiful, awe-inspiring things you've seen on the road?
Well, honestly, like I say, rewarding to me is just being able to travel throughout the different states, places that I've never been, just the view and, just enjoying, the road itself. People get out here and they don't see a lot of things on the road like you do when you're truck driving. You're sitting up higher. You can see better. You have different aspects of a lot of things. And I really enjoy just being able to get out here and see the different 50 states, and trying to enjoy life.
How would you describe what I was just kind of picking up on what you said there, the feel of the road from where you are, your position on the road?
It's a big difference. When you're in the truck or whatever, like I say, you sit up higher, you can see things at a better perspective, being up higher or whatever. And the feel is totally different. It just really depends on if you're in a tractor, day cab, or whatever. It's a different feeling, honestly. I prefer, the tractor ride. It seems to me a lot smoother during the course of the drive. With the day cabs, you can have some of them that are really a comfortable, smooth ride. And you can have some of them that you're bouncing up and down like you're coming out of, you're Jack in the Box. You're bouncing out of the box every 2-3 minutes. That's what it feels like.
Definitely true for a cab and chassis.
You're bouncing up and down the whole complete. I've had trucks where I did a 20, 25-hour drive, and I bounced and hit the ceiling multiple times.
How do you cope with that, Sexcina?
Oh God, it can be a handful. I try to keep a small bottle of ibuprofen because I'm going to pay for it. At the end of the load, I am sore as ever. So I try to, but other than that, I just, I deal with it. And you never know, like I say, what you're going to get, how the trucks are going to be. Like I say, I've had some cabin chassis that rode as smooth as being in a tractor, a full sleeper cab or whatever. So you just never know.
Mm-hmm. Is there a brand out there, a make that to you travels better than another one? Is there, is it a Peterbilt, a Volvo, a Mack, whatever?
I'm going to be honest. To me, a Freightliner Cascadia, to me, rides the best.
And you see a lot of those on the road.
Yes.
What separates a Freightliner from some of the other ones as far as the ride?
I'm going to be honest with the Freightliner. I have a smoother ride no matter where I'm going, what I'm in, even if it's a day cab. You can get, I never have a bad experience with those at all. I like a Peterbilt, but, to me, like I say, the Freightliner stands out amongst all of them, more room to me in the cab itself, leg room and everything with the steering column, being able to adjust. I just prefer, like I say, it's more roomier and it's a lot smoother ride.
Now, how much value do you put on the truck type versus the lane? I mean, it's like, I want to go here, I don't want to go here, I can work my way out of that, but I'm in a Freightliner. So let's say here it's a multiple choice question. All right, you got a Freightliner Cascadia, and you're running from Florida to Los Angeles. Let's say Miami to Los Angeles. And let me back up. Let me change that. Miami to New York City. But you got a Peterbilt running from Miami to Los Angeles. Would you take the one to New York in the Cascadia, or would you take the one out west in the Peterbilt?
I'm going to be honest, I would go Peterbilt.
Long run outweighs Cascadia. Goodbye, Cascadia.
Yes.
For people who may hear this and are not in the business, in the industry, what's the benefit of such a long run other than the obvious, the payout?
Honestly, with the longer runs, I just like it because I know, okay, I got this many days I'm going to be in this truck, and I'm not, it makes a big difference when you have a load where I'm picking up here and I have another load set up and I got to spend $100, $150 to get to that other load in transportation. It makes a big difference. I try to weigh all the pros and cons when I pick loads or whatever. But, with the longer runs, I know I'm going to make the money at the same time. I'm in one vehicle and I don't have to keep bouncing around trying to get from point A to B to get to the other load.
Let's say you're on that long run from Miami to Los Angeles. Where do you stay? Do you pick by hotel choice, or what makes most sense when you do that?
When I do a longer run, honestly, I just kind of map out on my longer runs. I map out what is going to be about my 10-hour spot, and I'll pick a hotel. The area itself. I never have a certain spot that I stay at or whatever. I just choose my hotel by pretty much, I map it out 9-10 hours. And I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to pull over here in this area. Let me find a hotel.
Gotcha. Now, do you have a cap on how much you'll spend on a hotel, or does it depend upon, obviously, they run more or less depending upon where you are. I mean, how do you do that as far as blending the price in with your map plan?
So I kind of look up, I do different aspects. I have all the hotel apps, of course, the CLC lodging app. I do Priceline. I just kind of take a good look and see who's going to give me the better rate and, the hotel standards. With me being a female, I never stay in anything that is an outdoor hotel. Whereas if I got to enter from the outside, if I'm not physically going into the hotel, I won't stay. So that makes a big difference for me.
I got you. Now, without naming the brand of the hotel, what's the worst experience you've ever had at a hotel?
Ooh, the worst experience, bed bugs. The worst experience ever, bed bugs. We're not going to say where, but yes, I've had the worst experience ever. And that was another reason why I don't stay at outdoor hotels, motels, as you just stated.
Now, not to get too personal, how much problem was the bed bugs? Was it psychological or a physical issue?
More physical than anything. Like I say, when I first noticed it, didn't think anything of it. And then I'm like, okay, wait, I got more here, there, or whatever. And that was out of a Florida hotel at that. So, yeah.
Mark that one off the list.
Like, you just never know what you're going to get until you experience it. But like I say, I haven't had any issues since then. So that's been a good thing.
What about on the other side of the coin? What's some of the best experiences you've had with
I've had some hotels, like I say, best experience where I've got there. Oh, you're a truck driver? Yes. I have great experience in Chillicothe, matter of fact. Quality Inn or whatever, right down the street from Kenworth. I have great experience with them. They always treat me, excellent. I never have any issues. I don't care what time of day or night it is. I can always walk in there and they're going to give me a room no matter what it is, even if, it's an upgraded room for the same price. I never have any issues with them at all.
That's fantastic. Are you on a first name basis with them there?
Yes, I am.
It's hard to forget your name. Sexcina Monroe joining us here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Now, next week, have you already got your loads for next week, or is that still something up in the air?
That's still in the air. I'm going to decide all that. I'm going to kind of look tonight and then first thing tomorrow and pick something up.
All right, we're going to shift gears here. Let's see what I did there. Shift gears. Let's talk about Christmas coming up here. And you got the grandchildren, you got the grands, and you got your own children. Have you finished all your shopping?
I didn't do any shopping. I just gave the kids the money and let them do the shopping.
I bet that worked out well.
Worked out really well.
Now, I don't know if we had talked about the age range on your grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, the age range, 9, 6, and 6 months.
9, 6, and 6 months. So did it work out where you gave your children the money and they played Santa Claus for their children?
Yes. Yeah, they work very well that way.
Gotcha. Now, is Christmas happening at your house or at one of your at the house of one of your children?
At one of my children.
Okay. Are you guys all live in the Houston area?
Yes, we're all in Houston area, about 10 minutes apart from each other.
Do you guys have any special traditions about Christmas that you do?
Well, we do, but like I say, we're usually with the family, but this year we're going to stay home. We're not going to go home with the family. This year we've been having a lot of deaths in the family, so we've been traveling quite a bit back and forth out of town. So we're going to stay home this year, and then we're going to go. They have a holiday thing going up in College Station, a Christmas thing there, and we're going to take the children there.
Oh, Texas A&M?
Yes.
Gotcha. Now, speaking of Texas A&M and other schools, being in Texas, are you a sports fan?
I am.
Cowboys?
No,
Texans?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest. I'm originally from Illinois, so I'm still a Chicago Bears fan, no matter where I'm at.
Gotcha. It's in your blood. Now, they've had a bit of a rough year. Chicago has.
Horrible year.
So you're following them still.
Yes, horrible year. They are really having a horrible year, but I'm still a loyal fan no matter what, so I'm just going to cheer them on no matter. Gotcha.
Now, what are your plans for 2023? Do you have any plans as far as it pertains to being a mother, grandmother, and also a driver, or is it all wrapped in together, or what are your plans for 23?
I'm going to be honest, it's all wrapped in together. My biggest plan is I've been financially working, trying to build my credit up a little more to, do a few things with my life next year. But other than that, I really don't have any major, anything else majorly planned. Just like I say, financially, get myself to a higher six-figure truck driver.
I got you. You led me to my next question. Has Driveaway enabled you to put your finances in a place where you want them to be?
They have. They have improved my finances a lot more than they were, and I hopefully praying they will continue to be even better for 2023.
How do you put yourself in position to do that? I mean, we talked a lot about load planning, not putting yourself in bad position as far as expenses between loads, but how do you build on what you've already done? I just basically, like I say, building next year, I am looking forward to planning. I know at one point we were able to pretty much plan out loads and have them set for the whole week, 2 to 3 different units. We've been having a lot of issues lately, I think, because we have drivers that probably are not, consistently doing as they say they're going to do. So it's been kind of backdooring a couple of drivers that plan their week out, So it's been kind of hurting me a lot because I've been doing loads,
spending extra money to get to other loads. So hopefully to combat that next year, I will be able to go back to, okay, I have 3 loads set up. They're all within 10, 15 minutes or so apart, and I don't have to spend all the excess money, and lose out like I did. Because like last week, I honestly lost out on probably about $600 because one load got completely canceled. And then that put me in a situation where I had to end up driving home, and the finances that I thought I was going to make, I did not make.
Gotcha. Now, I found out about you because obviously the uniqueness of your name and your dispatcher. Dalen said Sexcina would be great. Now, Dalen is still currently your dispatcher?
Yes. That's my best friend.
We've had a number of guests here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport, and all of them talk a lot about the relationship with the dispatcher. How would you characterize not just Dalen, we'll get back to Dalen, but your relationship with any dispatcher? How would you characterize that?
I've had a lot of great dispatchers, don't get me wrong. I've been bounced around quite a bit since I've been with Norton because they've all kind of switched positions. But I've had a lot of great dispatchers. They're pretty, really helpful. If I call, if I need help with something, if I'm trying to figure out things, I just can't, come up with on my own or how to get from point A to B. They have been really helpful. If I need something after hours, even the new after hours dispatchers that we have, I really appreciate that too, because I know for one point we didn't have anybody after 5 o'clock. So they have been helpful too, just being able to, lead me in the right direction if something happens or, just giving me information that's needed.
I guess you've talked to Thomas and Lauren?
Yes, I have.
Or Lo, as we call
Lo.
her.
Yes, Lo. And Lo is the main one I've talked to. I've dealt with her quite a bit, and she's been really helpful with different situations.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Now, let's talk about, you said Dalen is your friend, because that's something that happens, over time when you're spending that much time on the phone and in text. Relationships are formed. So tell us how it came to be your relationship with Dalen. Kind of walk us through it.
I had Brittany first. Brittany went over to deck load, so I got bounced over to Dalen. We had a great relationship, me and Brittany. Dalen, I met all of them. I stopped in one day into the location and met everybody then physically, seeing them all, and it was a nice time. But like I say, me and Dalen have really hit it off from day one. She's been helpful, just like Brittany was, with different situations. If I have issues, I can call her. I do have Megan and Anna on our team too, and they're always, pretty much there. If Dalen's not, able to answer, they always pretty much pick up. But like I say, Dalen has really been, helpful for me. She knows when I'm in a certain area, her and Megan. If I'm in that area, they tend to call me and be like, I don't know if you've seen it. There's a load on the board. You're going to be there, and that helps out a lot, because with us driving, we're not able to, keep track of looking at the board and all that because, you're focused on driving and everything. So she's been really good to me, in that type of way, helping me pick loads, decide where to go, and just giving me some great feedback on different loads.
Sure. 2 heads are better than one, an extra set of eyes.
Yes. Gotcha. Yes.
Now, for people not familiar with driving, particularly a Driveaway, we've talked a little bit about the relationship importance between the driver and the dispatcher. Talk about if you don't have that kind of communication, how bad would it be?
It's bad. Communication makes it's a big key, even with not just so much your dispatcher, when you're picking up a load or taking a load somewhere, a lot of the loads will tell us to contact the person that you're picking up from or delivering to before you come. But like I said, communication makes a big difference when you're able to pick up the phone, dial that number and be like, okay, well, I'm picked up your truck. I'm going to be here this time, so they're aware that you're coming.
I'm sure it takes some personal skills to, wade your way through some of that if there's some communication that has been absent.
Oh, yeah. And it really does. But like I say, I've been in the driving industry for so long. I'm going to be honest. I did city bus and charter bus service for 10 years. So I've dealt with people for years, and that's one of my strong points when it comes to communicating with people. I don't really have any issues on that side, and I thank God for that.
I can tell, Sexcina, from talking to you, you don't have a problem with words.
I thank God for that. I'm like I say, you have people that, take you in the wrong, but I'll be like, I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I just need you. I just want to find out about a truck. Well, I'm like, it works out pretty good though. But like I say, communication makes the best of everything. When I say you talk to somebody and they know you're coming or you're dropping off or whatever, it makes a big difference. And when I have an issue, I pretty much dispatcher, they, back me up. Oh, I emailed them. They know you're coming or whatever. So that's why I say communication is top key in everything.
Gotcha. Now let's put on a different hat for Sexcina here. Now, if you were going to talk to somebody who was looking for maybe a career change or wanted to slide into something related but a little bit different, how would you sell Driveaway trucking? I mean, if you were going to put somebody in that position, what would your point of emphasis be?
I have a lot of different Uber, Lyft drivers that pick me up that I've communicated with, and they'll be like, well, what do you do? And I tell them Driveaway, pretty much pick up the different units, drop them off to the dealership or other people that purchase them or whatever. And I always tell them, it's great job if you love to drive. It's a great job if you love to travel. I love the fact that with the Driveaway, pretty much as Norton, as long as you get your unit delivered by a certain time, you get paid that same day. A lot of different things. I tell them, with the dispatch, like I say, communication is, good. I haven't had any issues on that part. So, just try to tell them, some of the positives, in the Driveaway. Like I told them, you never know what you're going to experience on the roads, but, you just have to, at all times, keep your eyes and ears open and be prepared.
What's the biggest advantage of Driveaway to you as a person who's been behind the wheel for 26 years?
With the Driveaway, like I say, I love it because the fact that I get to pick and choose when I work, where I work, and what I want to do. That's what I love about Driveaway.
Gotcha. Now, coming to the end of the year and you've got your goals set for 2023, is the family behind you and everything? I'm sure they are.
Oh yes, they're behind me. They've been knowing for years. Like I say, I've been driving for so long, and they know that's my passion. To drive, just to get out, enjoy the open road, and they never gave me any negative feedback on it. So,
how do you balance the time away from family and being on the road?
I just try. Like I say, I'm gonna be honest. When I first started this, I was to the point where I would only work like during the week. I make sure I was home every weekend. But sometimes, like I say, when you get the longer loads, it doesn't work out that way. So, but I try to make the best of it when I do come home, spend time with the kids and grandkids or whatever, family time, and just, enjoy it while I'm home. They're surprised that I'm here now. So, because usually I'm gone during the week, but they're like, wow, you really stay home this week. I say, yeah. So, so it's been a big difference, for me the last couple of days or whatever, because I'm usually on the road. But I knew with the weather and everything, it's supposed to get bad in a lot of places. So I was like, no, I'm just going to prepare myself to stay home this week. And, I just pray for all the other drivers that are out there. Hopefully everybody is safe and just, taking it easy out there.
You're listening to the words and wisdom of Sexcina Monroe here on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. We're coming to an end here, Sexcina. We're wrapping up, but as we do and we look at the end of 2022, the beginning of 23, what would your advice be to drivers out there who are behind the wheel now? My advice is now, like I say, because of weather situations in many different states, I just pray that you guys are all staying warm, being safe out there, I know it's a lot of different things going on at this time of year. I'm sure you're worried about your family and everything, but just pray about it and just, keep your mind focused on what you're doing and take it easy out there. Sexcina, thank you so much for joining us on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Enjoy your time with the family during this holiday season. And again, thank you so much for being with us. Not a problem. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.